Hello everyone, you're in for a treat today. Today I am going to review very quickly some initial impressions of the new, I don't think it's new, but it's I bought these Manfrotto Xume filtery holder things. All right, I don't know if you see that, yeah. The idea is that these little rings got magnets in them, and they clip onto filter holders, lens caps, and make for a really easy in and out of putting filters on your camera. So here, I'll just demonstrate. This is an FA77 on right now. Oh my god, I could just take the lens cap off just like that. So it's this magnet. It's magic. All right, so that's got, this one here's got a filter holder on it, and then it's got a lens adapter sitting over here. And look, it's not bad as a kind of system. See if I can see it a bit better. Let's pan you around a little bit. Okay, I don't do my video very often with this phone. Don't know if that's too close or crap quality. So yeah, so look, certain thoughts I have about this right now. First of all, one broke. I got a heap of them. I think it's this one here. The magnetic ring came out of this ring. I got in touch with Manfrotto, and they said, chuck it in the bin, we'll send you another one out. And they took about 2 days to turn around to tell me that. So there you go, look, it's fucked already, right? I don't know, man, I was a bit like, no filter was on it at the time that it happened, so thankfully nothing broke. But can you imagine, putting a filter on that and going there, and this magnetic ring just staying here, and this one, whee, off it goes into the water, rip. So not overly impressed with first impressions of that. But they say they've never heard of it before. I'm the first. Yeah, right, okay, but I don't know. So how does it work in theory? Okay, so this is what, okay, so if I'm doing a landscape shot, right, and I quite often do composites and stuff like that, the first thing I'll do, maybe I'm at a waterfall, right, is I'll put a CPL on, all right? So here I can adjust my CPL for the scene, all right, and take a shot. Quite often it's maybe like a pixel shifted shot as well, and I've got everything sort of set up in the camera. The next thing I want to do though is use like an ND filter and maybe do some slow-mo for the water. And so you put that one on as well. And again, you can just kind of click on. And that is really nice because every time you mess around, the more you touch, the more you twist here, the more you're messing around with the composite shot. So I do appreciate the kind of quickness of just taking things on and off. Here's a problem, a little bit of a problem, right? In order to be able to do this, I've put a lens adapter between the two so that it grabs them. It's making it longer and longer. And this is a 77 focal length range. And I've tested, and believe it or not, this is okay. You can go all the way through here without vignetting. But on some of the other lenses, you're getting into some problems with that. So I don't think the system was ever designed to stack. Not really. I think, the idea is for you to just, put one one filter holder onto your filter, have one lens adapter, and that is it, and just take it on and off. See, this is even longer because it's got a second lens adapter here, so it shouldn't even be that long for the CPL, but I've made it longer, and I've made it longer just so I can do that and put another one on, because I don't really see the point in this system if I take one shot with a CPL and then I have to kind of take it off, unscrew, put another one on. It's just too much time elapsed and all the rest of it. So I just think it's a bit crap like that. So I feel as though they should come out with some kind of system that's better. So I mean, really, they need their own filters with the magnetic rings in them, and then you just jump across to their brand entirely. I think that would work. Or the other thing is this, right? So like this kind of system where you use these are 52mm filters. The other thing is they need to maybe do a kind of step up system, and you can't really do that with any of these, and that doesn't work like that. You have to use a step up ring and then the filter holder or lens adapter and so on and so forth, whereas I think you'd get around some of the vignetting differently. So here's an example. Let's change the lens. So I'm going to put a 28mm on, okay? And if I used that system before on the 28mm, it has a 49mm thread. If I use step-up rings and use the 52mm, that's it, game over. Way too much vignetting happening. So I'm having to use a step-up ring here. And then I don't have enough of these lens adapters at the moment, so I'm just stealing one off this camera, this lens here. So you do have to have a bit forward thinking before you go in the field, because I don't have endless supply of money to buy a gazillion lens adapters. But yeah, so I'm kind of like, the other annoying thing is, you know, you do that and now your lens cap doesn't fit on anymore. It just doesn't fit on. I've actually found, I think this one works okay from a different camera. That kind of fits over not the back. But yeah, it's a bit annoying as well that you've got to do that. But if you're forward thinking, you can get hoods. And did I put one on this hood? I don't know. No, I didn't. It's in another bag. Hang on, I'll show you. So here it is. So yeah, you can, you know, again, you can just put a snap-on hood, which is quite nice like that. It's using a system, and that's nice for 28mm. And I can use I've got other ones. I've got other adapters. So again, same sort of thing. This is a 62mm cpl, and now on the 28mm, there's no vignetting happening there. And I think I can get away with even adding on an ND filter to that as well, and still doing okay. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it's kind of quick, and that's why I bought it. And the other reason I bought it is I've actually got a new 8200 sitting here on the table, but before I had that, I was using a lot of flash just from speedlights. And as we know, once you go into high speed sync with a speedlight, you're getting very little power. But if you can just dull down your camera so it shoots under sync speed, which for me is 1/200th of a second, then you're getting a lot more power and recycle time, if you don't need to use full power, out of that. So yeah, the thing about that is who can be bothered at an event to screwing a filter on, you know? But if you had one that darkened everything quick enough, you could just reach in your pocket or whatever and just slap it on quick. Voila, you're under sync speed and you can shoot and get more efficiency from your flash. It's an old school trick, right? But I just think that these filter holders are really good for that idea. So yeah, I don't know. It's a funny thing. It feels as though once you go to, I'm getting longer and longer and deeper in. I mean, some people say you shouldn't stack anyway, right? Like you shouldn't have a cpl and an ND filter on. And God knows I probably have a UV protection filter on as well. I'm my own worst enemy. So some people say you probably shouldn't stack anyway. Just choose the filter for the job and just be done with it. But I almost feel as though there needs to be like, to stop vignetting happening on certain cameras. I think I almost, on certain lenses, sorry, I almost feel as though you want a cpl and then a wider one, like an even bigger one for a larger ND filter. Like I don't have one yet, but so you have a bigger filter that goes over it like that. You know, they need some kind of step-up ring to go between, so you can kind of do stacking and not worry about vignetting. Because the longer you go at the same, the more chance you're going to have of vignetting, which sucks. Anyway, there's my impressions. I haven't really used it that much. I can link you in the description some examples of my landscape shots where I am using a cpl and an ND filter together. Composite shot where maybe one shot is taken at a relatively fast shutter speed with just a cpl, and then a second shot taken at a lower one, still keeping that cpl on. The reason I do that is if you shoot a waterfall, almost the cpl is useful, is most useful to stop reflections in the water. So, and the rocks and everything, you can control the reflection and glistening in the rocks if you use a cpl, as well as just getting saturation out of the fern and everything else. So I quite like my long exposure to still have that effect on, but obviously cpl is not enough. And if I'm already, you know, so it depends on the waterfall. Some waterfalls are a chickle and they need a lot longer, like 10, 20 seconds. Some are very fast flowing, and so a quarter of a second's fine. But it just depends. But yeah, I really just felt as though I needed that kind of system where I can just snap another one on. But yeah, you just got to be a bit careful with the vignetting. Because for example, this FA43 here that I have, if I use these ones which fit, it vignettes badly. So I even have to use these 62mm on the 28 on the FA43 to avoid vignetting. So you have to kind of know a little bit beforehand what lens and focal length you've got and which filters to go for. My advice is to go wider than what you've got. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. There you go. Don't know what you make of it. All right, cheers, bye.